everyone, my name is Ghrah, and you're watching A Gamer Thing.
Press start.
Welcome to my guide for Pharos Sirius Hard Mode, where you once again have to clear the tower of enemies, but instead of a siren, this time it's kobolds. And if they don't place a constant guard on this tower now, I suspect we'll get an expert mode clearing out an overgrowth of plant-type mobs and Mandragora. The first boss is Ghrah Luminary, a corruption that has taken the form of a more powerful humanoid. Ghrah has a high damage frontal cleave called Vorpal Blade, so tanks, make sure you face him away from the party. The main mechanic of this fight is the corruption tethers. An orb will spawn and tether itself to a player and mark them with prey. After some time, it will cast etheric mimicry and take the form of whatever it is tethered to. If the tether is still on a player, they become a humanoid that tethers to the boss. The mimic corruption will then grant the boss a damage up buff and a vulnerability up debuff to whichever player they are attacking. This ad can also perform the frontal cleave Vorpal Blade, so make sure he's facing away from the party. However, you can prevent the corruption from mimicking you by running through one of the mobs, either a bird or a spider, that's standing along the edges of the arena. The orb will thus mimic that mob and cast Acidic Spray as a spider, which leaves a poison pool on the ground, or Damnation Dive as a bird, which is an easily dodgeable telegraphed attack. I recommend passing the tether to a bird, as the mechanic is much easier to deal with. However, it is better to pass the tether to any mob than to run out of time searching for a bird. The first corruption will be a single orb, the next two, and the third will mark and tether all players. Kill the ads first once they become targetable before moving back to the boss. During the fight, Ghrah will also cast Luminous Lancet, which targets the DPS and healer with ground AoEs. Before you reach the next boss, take note of the simple bomb incubators. They will continuously spawn time bombs until defeated, so take those out first. The next boss is 8th Order Patriarch Bagoo. Bagoo casts Strip Mine, a room-wide proximity AoE that deals more damage the closer you are and leaves behind a hole in the floor. This rupture causes corrupted gels to continuously spawn until it is plugged up by killing a gel over the hole. The gels will tether and follow whoever attacks it first, or randomly target a player if left alone. If gels aren't killed, they will eventually explode with Corrupture, dealing damage to the entire party, and if there are too many gels, it will lead to a raid wipe. Bagoo will also occasionally summon 2 8th Order Furnacemen and 2 Alchemy Engines. While the engines are up, the boss has a damage up and shocking counter buff, which will stun any players that hit him. Also, the boss will perform Loose Screw, in which he charges toward a random player, dealing damage and knocking them back. In order to remove his buffs and stop his charging, simply prioritize killing the engines over the Furnacemen. During the fight, be aware of Batter, an AoE of moderate damage centered around himself. Remember those incubators I mentioned before? In the room before the final boss, you'll find a few more incubators which need to be dealt with immediately, as well as a few ads that try to destroy the structures called Pharos Wall. If these walls are destroyed, living rocks will come out and attack the party. So tanks, make sure you grab aggro of all these ads and then focus the incubators first before moving on to the other enemies. Whew, that was an intense mob fight, but now you've reached the final boss, Progenitrix. Look who skipped leg day! The first phase of Progenitrix is extremely easy. Well, at least easier than saying her first cast, Scalding Scolding. What a tongue twister. It's a frontal cleave on the tank, so again, face her away from the party. She also casts Sap, which targets a player with a telegraphed AoE. The main mechanic, however, is Bombshell Drop. The first time she uses it, she'll spawn 2 lava bombs and 1 grey bomb. The grey bomb will keep growing in size and eventually detonate, causing moderate to high party-wide damage depending on fire resistance down debuffs. The lava bombs are easier to kill and should be tanked and simply defeated before they complete their big burst cast. However, prioritize killing the grey bombs first, as they deal more damage when they explode. At low health, Progenitrix will begin to cast Big Burst. You must reduce her health to 0 before the cast is complete, or the burst will deal high damage, most likely leading to a wipe. Once she is defeated, 3 lava bombs and 3 grey bombs will spawn, followed by phase 2. Again, kill the grey bombs first. Phase 2 is indicated by her now being blue and having the name Progenitor. She enters the arena with Scorched Earth, a low damage room-wide AoE that knocks the players back. Progenitor occasionally casts Blue Flame, an AoE attack that inflicts fire resistance down on the party, functioning as a soft enrage mechanic. She will continue to use Big Burst to deal party-wide damage. With too many debuffs, this attack will eventually wipe the group. Progenitrix bombs a Grey Bomb and a Remedy Bomb. The Remedy Bomb tries to float toward the Grey Bomb, but any attack will knock it away from the attacker. So be careful of the angle you attack the Remedy Bomb. If a Remedy Bomb reaches a Grey Bomb, they will tether and cause the Grey Bomb to explode. You still have a short amount of time to knock it away once it is tethered. I advise having the healer or tank focus on knocking back the Remedy Bomb while DPS burn down the Grey Bomb. Fortunately, the Remedy Bomb immediately dies when the Grey Bomb does. Later in the fight, 2 pairs of Remedy and Grey Bombs will appear. This time, have the healer and tank each focus on knocking one Remedy away while the DPS burn down the Grey Bombs one at a time. It isn't a wipe if they tether, you can survive one, but a second maybe not depending on your current health and defenses. It is also important to note that when one Grey Bomb is defeated, its Remedy Bomb will then change its target to the second Grey Bomb, so you'll need to continue managing the knockback mechanic until both are defeated. Congratulations, you've completed Pharos Sirius Hard Mode. Let's just hope this is the last time we have to clear out this tower. I hope you found this guide helpful in your future ventures in Eorzea. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and take care!